Hey. Alright everybody, it's time to talk about Weekly Shonen Jump 2025, issue number 49. This week, a new series has started once again. We're in that new series wave. One more coming next week. And this time we have The Mage Next Door by Hideaki Nabe. Much better title for an English-speaking tongue than what it was previously known as. And yeah, I mean, that's what's on the cover. So not a whole lot to say about it, unfortunately, because as per usual with new series covers, I don't really know what I'm looking at until I read it. So I just gotta wait and see. I mean, it's a fine enough character design, I suppose. Doesn't like stand out to me a whole lot. His clothes are kind of cool, I guess. If I had to say anything about it. See how it goes. I was getting Mashle vibes from the premise, but might throw a few curveballs in there. We'll have to check it out. And with that being said, I guess let's just go ahead and do it, because there's really not much news or anything to talk about this week. Just it's all about this new series, so let's go ahead and get into it. The Mage Next Door, Chapter 1, Osoegawa the Mage. These new series love putting characters that do not appear in the first chapter on their color pages, I've noticed. We did not see that grow at all. I liked this, actually. I don't think it's, like, amazing or anything groundbreaking, but I think it's a fun idea with a really enjoyable main character. I think Osoegawa's pretty endearing. He kind of gives me like it's sort of it is sort of Mashle kind of it's a similar personality, but he's not like he actually has like an interesting skill set, which I think will be fun to see. It's Mashle was all about a guy who doesn't have magic but is just really physically strong, but everybody else has magic. This is still a mage. Like, he can use magic just like normal, but he chooses to use unorthodox spells, like just spells that are for like daily life rather than actual combat. And I think that's a really fun concept that can certainly be used in unique and fun ways, and I'm excited to see how that idea is used. Yeah, I don't know. I was actually really enjoying this chapter. I think there's a lot to like about it. It's not, again, not reinventing the wheel. It's nothing crazy, and I could see this getting stale very, very quickly. There's a lot of series out there that have had good first chapters and then just go to shit immediately, like Akane Bros. So, we'll see how it goes. But, for what it is, I did enjoy this quite a bit. One Piece, chapter 1164, Davy Blood. What a chapter. Oh man, we're really getting down to it with God Valley here. There's obviously a lot to love about this chapter as a longtime fan. This is just, again, there's something I keep saying week to week. It's just total like dream fulfillment, wish fulfillment stuff. Like, this is everything we've wanted to see for so long, ever since hearing about this legendary Roger and Garp team up on God Valley. It's like, I gotta see it. I just have to. And we're here now. Obviously, it just started. We don't get to actually see it happen yet. But next week, is there a chapter next week? Yes, there is a chapter next week. So next week, we are going to get to see the beginning of, or maybe the whole thing, I don't know, of Garp and Roger versus Rocks. And that is a sentence that I can't believe I'm saying. It's still just so surreal. We're just getting God Valley. I don't know. Like, it just doesn't, it didn't feel like it was close to happening ever. It always felt like such a far off thing. We'll see this flashback like end of the series, but that's where we're at. We're getting there, man. Like, after Elbaf, we're going to Final War stuff. I'm sure of it. So this is end of series stuff. We're getting down to the wire. And that is just such a crazy prospect to me. Getting to see things in One Piece that I've been dreaming about for years never gets old. This isn't the first time this has happened, obviously. Like, Roger finding the One Piece, man, I cried. That was a beautiful moment. And now this is on the other side of the spectrum. This is just kind of like cool, quote unquote, fan service type stuff. It's a fight, it's not a whole lot of emotion behind it. But obviously there is as well with Rocks, literally begging to be killed because he's not himself. So I imagine this will be a very emotional conclusion for Rocks coming up in the next couple chapters, and we'll hopefully get to touch a little bit more on Loki and the Giants before we wrap up the flashback, because I don't think we're really done with that. And then finally get back to the present, because, man, I want to talk about the Straw Hats. I haven't even done that on this channel yet. But again, for what this is, as a flashback, obviously, I love this. This is a great chapter, and I cannot wait for next week. I'm so glad there's not a break. Ichi the Woods, chapter 57, Love and Hate. Oh, wow, what a chapter, man. Holy shit. That was so good. I loved this chapter. This is pretty much everything I wanted from Uroro, you know, taking over Ichi's body temporarily. We got it all. We got everything I could have wanted. We also get an amazing backstory for Kizashi here. This made me really click with the character, because what an absurd thing. He accidentally kills his friend, his fish friend, and he blames it for being weak. I love that as a motive. This is something you'll find out about me as I talk more and more about manga publicly. I love when villains have just an inciting event, like a very simple thing that sets them on this wild path, because it just makes sense. You know, like, if you're already an insane dude and just some little thing happens that like warps your sense of reality, it works so well for me, because it just makes sense. I can see what happened here. An insane person's world was just flipped on its head, and they're trying to find any possible reason to justify it. And in this guy's case, in Kizashi's case, it's blaming a fish for being weak. I love it. Love it so much. And yes, Uroro was fantastic in this chapter. I got, you know, very big Sukuna vibes, obviously, as I keep talking about. Another amazing showcase of power. Like, this is unbelievable stuff that we're seeing. We've never seen anything like this on this scale in this series, I don't think. Then Ichi coming in, being the badass he is, and showing Uroro who's boss. Love it. It's perfect. God, I love this series so much. It is fantastic, and this is a phenomenal part of the series. Everybody gets to look good here. Perfect showcase of all three characters that we're focusing on here. Phenomenal stuff. Pretty much a perfect chapter.
Can I offer you a nice egg in this trying time?
Gonron Egg Chapter 2, All Smiles. Yeah, guys, I just don't know about this series. I can't sit here and say it's bad. I don't have that strong of an opinion about it. Like, I can't say, oh, this sucks, I hate this, don't want to read this. I read it. I like some of it. Like, it's interesting in a way, but I just don't really like it. I don't know. This is a really weird one for me to put into words, because I just don't really understand how I feel about it yet. It's inoffensive, you know. I mean, it's not like again, it's not horrendous, it's not even bad. It's just a thing I'm reading. I do genuinely enjoy the design, that like the fused egg design, whatever that form is called. I think it looks cool. That panel of him slicing the weird freak's neck is nice. But it's all just so, like, I've seen all this shit before. You know, it's also I do like the post-apocalyptic setting. I think that's cool. It's unique for this era of Jump. Obviously, what it's reminiscent of is Fist of the North Star, but only in setting. I guess you could kind of argue, like, plot, sorta. Like, it's just this rogue guy going around saving people from these post-apocalyptic assholes, except they're like actual demons in this case, not other people. It's fine. That's what I'll say about Gonron Egg. It is fine. It's just not... It could easily go in either direction, though. I will still say, though, the art isn't really impressing me all that much. I think they should have gotten some different assistants on board for this one, because the background art discrepancy is ridiculous. Like, it's a different series in the background, and the art style clashes so bad that it's distracting. So yeah, I don't know. Let's just keep going with it, keep on trucking, and maybe I'll fall to one side or the other, whether I end up hating it or liking it. Hima-Ten Chapter 65, Friends on the Eve. I don't really have much to say about this chapter. It wasn't really what I thought it was going to be. I thought this was going to end up being like a PSA, like about meeting up with strangers that you meet online or something, or even Wow, this is a whole other thing with the fact that they're college guys hitting on high schoolers. That's what the hell. But whatever. I guess it happened and it was chill. That's the life lesson. Date date college guys when you're in high school. A great life lesson. What the fuck is going on? Actually, now that I'm really thinking about this, um, I I don't know. This was this is actually a really weird chapter. I kind of just took it at face value for a sec, but now that I'm really taking a step back and thinking about it, like, what the hell did I just read? It seemed like this is gonna be like some shady thing, like we're gonna have a Himari saving the day moment with their friends, but no, they're just chill. It was just a normal date, just with a age discrepancy. Okay, they're first years, right? This is first year of high school. Am I wrong about that? I might be wrong, but I think I'm right. And it's college guys. What are we doing? What are we doing? Weird chapter. Very weird. I don't really know what to take away from this. I guess we made a little bit of progress with Himari and Iemori, but it didn't really feel like anything new. I don't know what the point of this whole thing was. Hey, at least Himeno wasn't in it. That's a dub.
Get this man a gun.
Sakamoto Chapter 235, Big Brother. It's still happening. I know. I complain about this fight forever, but why is this so long? That's my takeaway right now. Why is this fight so damn long? Lou got like a chapter and a half, and these guys get like 4 chapters, and it's still not even done. I know I'm in the minority on this. I know people like these characters for the most part. There are a few people who have agreed with me over the time covering this part of the story, but do people really like them this much to see like this much of the final arc being dedicated to them? Maybe, I don't know. Whatever. Anyways, regardless, I'm excited about the Sheen stuff here at the end. I think that could end up being cool. I'm just excited to see characters that aren't the school kids back in action. We'll see if we have like a weird split going on now between several different fights. I'll take it over what we've been getting. But can we get back to Nagumo anytime soon? Like, we're just not going to touch on that, or what? Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo Chapter 9, Duravalbobidi Mekika, Part 2. I'm going to struggle with that one. Duravalbobidi Mekika. Duravalbobidi Mekika. I'll get better. So starting off, I really love the 4-panel theater section here. I remember with Nice Prison, I talked about how much they sucked ass. Here's a good one. These are good. This is actually a really funny gag here. I laughed. So good on a battle shonen for making me laugh harder than a gag manga. Great stuff. That's how you know Nice Prison was really fucking good. Chapter itself, I don't have a whole lot to take away from this. I did actually quite enjoy this, but it's all lore and alien lore, to be more specific. So I don't really know what to say about something like this, unfortunately. I'm not super well equipped to talk about like alien politics, but I thought it was cool. The through line was really nice, and I like these characters that we're following. You know, it's definitely making me understand them a lot more, which is obviously an important aspect of this series. There's a little observation I wanted to make, which I don't usually do on this show, things like this, but I had previously talked about how Tengen was very alien-like, and how seeing a person with a third eye shouldn't be that crazy when something like Tengen exists. I just want to say, this one alien with the chin rolls, a little Tengen-like, just a little, just a bit. Getting some Tengen vibes there. Does that mean anything? Maybe. But overall, pretty good chapter. I liked it. Akane-banashi Chapter 181, Zuiyun Effect. This is another solid, wrap-up / in-betweener. I like this a lot for what it was, just, getting accustomed to the new norm of Akane's life, following the Zuiyun prize. Obviously, the biggest takeaway here is that Kaisei is back, which is pretty crazy. I didn't exactly see that coming. I was just thinking recently about how we haven't seen characters like Kaisei in a while. So it felt about time for somebody to show back up, and Kaisei being the one to show up is a good choice, I think. I think this will throw a neat little wrench into the story going forward here. His design is pretty damn different. I don't even think I would have recognized him if Akane didn't say his name. I guess she's not going to end up meeting Isho here yet, seemingly. But it still might happen. I don't really know what Kaise is going to do here. He's Kaise. Yeah, good chapter. Good subversion of expectations. Classic stuff. Someone Hertz Chapter 8. Friend? Well, here we are. I knew this was going to happen. I've been waiting for this shoe to drop. A friend character has arrived. And she's fine. You know, I really just, for some reason, have this extreme aversion to wanting other characters to be in the series. I just kind of want it to be the two of them because I enjoy them together. I don't really want the dynamic to be shifted. It's so weird because you'd want that in a story. This isn't something I thought about with Blue Box. Like I wanted to keep adding shit to the mix, but with this, it has this very unique quality where I really only want to see these two characters. I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's like genre fatigue kicking in or what, but it's a very unique phenomenon that I can't quite pin why it's happening. But if we're going to have a friend character, I suppose this is the way to do it. You know, it's not like a rival, like in love at least, it is a rival to the show, the Mound Mid. Yeah, I don't know. She's okay. I didn't really have a super strong first impression of her, but I will hear her out for sure. It's a little ridiculous how there's 3 frequent writers into the show, like in the same neighborhood, but whatever. With things like this, you kind of have to do something like that. But I also don't see why we can't have like friends that aren't interested in the show. I don't know. We'll see what happens. The cast will probably keep expanding. I can't imagine this will be the only side character in the series, as much as I don't really want there to be more, but it has to happen. I acknowledge that. But yeah, I mean, the series is doing really well, so I think it can afford to take some risks here. That's probably why they started doing it now, because it just started getting ranked. It's doing pretty well. Keep hanging in there, Someone Hurts. I like you. Just don't let me down. Shinobi Undercover Chapter 56, The End of Summer. This was an adorable chapter. This is, you know, finally the fight's over. Thank God. I'm so happy about that. I liked it. It was probably the best fight so far in the series. But as I've said many times, I think this series' strongest aspects are this slice of life, character building, relationship building stuff. It's really, really well done for a shonen battle manga primarily. Like it's shocking how well it's done. Yeah, just super cute stuff with Aoi and Yotaka here. I really thought every single page of this was absolutely adorable, to the extreme lying about what happened to Yotaka, to her just kind of going along with it, even like fixing a pipe at the table. It's so cute. But my favorite part of this whole chapter, it made me laugh so hard, was the fact that Suzume just left a picture of herself by the bedside. And all Yotaka can think to say is, that was hilarious. And he just immediately gets up after that. There's like no further acknowledgement. It's so perfect. I loved that. Fantastic chapter. This was my favorite in a while. It's always nice after a big long action sequence to get back to this stuff. I hope we have an extended period of time now, because I thought this was going to happen last time, but then we immediately got into another fight. So I hope we can stick around with slice of life stuff for a bit before we go back to more like hard-hitting action, because it's just so great. Witch Watch Chapter 224, The Scent of Romance. And fortunately kind of have mixed feelings about this one, because I mean, coming off of last chapter, which I thought was phenomenal, was chapter of the week. It was one of the best chapters in the series. And now we come back around to a weird vibe immediately following the confession, where it's like, okay, we're dating, but we can't go on dates or do anything at all because you're about to be like in big danger. And I get it, but it's just like dragging it out. Like, we just had the confession. Why can't it just be normal? But at the same time, it ends with holding hands. It's still cute. Like, they're definitely a thing, but it's so awkward and weird. But that's also normal, right? Like, it's it's a relationship that was brought up through really weird circumstances, so I guess it makes sense to be presented this way. And they also make a joke out of it, which actually that was pretty funny, just like poking fun at like, you know, new couples, and it's the subtly hinting on Instagram and stuff. I thought was funny, but it's just kind of all over. It's a tonal whiplash compared to last chapter where I was like about to cry, and now I feel like a weird mixture of emotions. I don't know. It was okay. This was a fine chapter overall. I like the hand holding moment. Obviously, that's very cute, but I don't know. We're getting to serious stuff soon, and I guess after that, like, serious ending vibes are huge right now. We're gonna be doing like this final conflict here in the next few chapters, and then it'll probably just start ending. Weird times for this series. Didn't expect it to go this way, but I'm along for the ride still. Obviously, I just can't help but be a little disappointed after last chapter. Kagurabachi Chapter 99, Strongest. Fantastic chapter. Chapter 100 is coming up next week, and I am feeling the Chihiro return. I feel it. It's gonna happen. I think. I hope. Please. I need him. But this was fantastic. I actually really loved this chapter. This was some of the best action in this whole, like, fight that's been happening these past few chapters. I just felt so intense and visceral and fast. It was such a blast to read. I really, really liked this one. This was great. Obviously, finally, Hokazono got a nice deserved break last week, so we have full finished art for this chapter, which is nice to see. I'm glad he's getting back on his feet. And it looked fantastic. Obviously, I mean, just by circumstance alone, this is one of the best looking chapters in recent memory, just because of how difficult the circumstances have been for him. So yeah, absolutely fantastic stuff. I cannot wait for next chapter. It's chapter 100. We got something big coming. I guarantee it. Even if it's not Chihiro, which I really think it will be, it's something. Something's happening. I can't wait to see what.
What are you doing, step bro?
New is Exorcist Chapter 121, North High's Second Goddess. I don't know what I'm supposed to be getting out of this chapter, but I'm not getting it. I just don't feel one emotion. I don't feel like this is funny or entertaining or anything. I don't know. Is that all that you could possibly feel from these chapters? It's all I could imagine feeling, but I have to guess because I really don't know. I feel nothing. Does nothing for me, as does most things in this series, but this especially so. This is just boring. There's nothing for me to latch onto here. I know I'm an extreme hater of this series. What are you gonna do? It happens. I can't like everything in this magazine, unfortunately. It's just like statistically impossible, and this is the thing I just really am not liking right now at all. I'm sure there will reach a time, hopefully, where I can at least find some enjoyment in this series again. I used to be able to get something out of it, but now I'm just in this weird state of like not even being able to like laugh at it anymore, like to make fun of it. I just feel nothing. That's New A right now. Just a total dud all around.
Feel the power of my magic!
The Elusive Samurai Chapter 225, Extended Battle 1352. It's a weird one. I don't really know what to say. I didn't care for this chapter all that much. It felt weird and anticlimactic, but I guess that's intentional. So, Takuji's alive still, but they're gonna go kill him. And now there's another fight about to happen that I could not possibly give a shit about. I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's like historical fan service or I'm just forgetting something. I don't know. I don't care either. I really don't care to know. Just super weird. It makes me, I kind of wonder, like, are they going to go the historical route? Are we actually going to end up with Tokiyuki dying and it's going to be like a whole miserable ending? Because there's that whole line that I actually quite enjoyed about how like history is rarely so neat and tidy. Like there's never actually an ending. Like just triumphantly defeat evil and that's it. Everybody lives happily ever after. I don't know what's gonna happen here. This is unknown territory. Impossible to predict right now, and I can't figure out if I like where it's going or not because I don't really know where it's going. So let's just find out. I'm along for the ride. I'll hear it out. This final battle has been very disappointing so far as a whole, though. So I can't say I have like a lot of faith in wrapping this up in a good way, but I can at least respect the balls if it actually goes the full historical route and we end in just like a complete loss and failure. Ultimate Exorcist Kiyoshi, Chapter 67, The Great Race to Retake the Demon Lord's Castle. That's a very long title. This arc is really weird. It's going at a pace that is wild. I didn't really think we'd just be going straight to like final boss territory pretty much immediately. Like it feels like we just got here. Now we're already just like going straight for it. It's I don't know. There's a lot of thoughts going through my head about this series. You know, this series has had a weird popularity. Like it's never been the highest selling thing in the world, the most talked about thing in the world, but yet it's still stuck around in the magazine longer than people thought by a lot. And it's still here. I like it. I enjoy it quite a bit. I think it's fun. But there's always moments like this where I'm just like, is it gonna get axed still? Like this isn't super high on the TOC, and we're at a point where we're moving the story along so fast, like it feels like it could be going towards some kind of ending, but at the same time, like no, like this can just be like a short arc. I don't know. This happens in series. It's so weird. Just the weird like middling results of this series' popularity is jarring, and I don't know how to predict like if this is going to be a big mainstay thing or not, because I can't see it happening. But yet it's still here, and I do enjoy it. I guess that's all that matters. I should just be happy that it's still in the magazine, period. You know, I did like this chapter. It was fun. It's just like, oh my god, so jarring how fast we're moving. We're going at breakneck speeds here. But again, that's not a bad thing. Maybe this is a fast-paced series. It's a series that can give you whiplash pretty easily, I think is the best way to put it. There's a lot of moments like this. But I guarantee you, because we thought the same thing about the last arc, where like, okay, we're moving fast, like this is like final series, end of series conflict here, and then the pacing slows down, we get that whole arc, and then it ends, and it still keeps going after. Now we're here and beyond that territory, and it's doing the same cycle again. So maybe it's going to start speeding up right now, but then it'll come to a stop, let it breathe, and do everything at a normal pace after. I don't know. It's a very strangely paced series. That is the biggest takeaway I can get out of this chapter. We in Roboco Chapter 256, Running Away and Bondo. Starting immediately off with a Hunter x Hunter reference is a great way to get me on board for a chapter, I gotta say. So I was immediately suckered into this one. And I liked it. I thought this was actually a pretty endearing chapter. It had its typical Roboco quirks, like Roboco being kind of selfish in a lot of moments and not really giving a shit, but then coming down to earth and actually helping Bondo learn something here. I thought it was fun. A few moments I didn't really care for throughout it, but whatever, it's a gag manga, it's gonna happen sometimes. Overall though, pretty solid chapter. There's not a whole lot to complain about really. At the end of the day, like, minor nitpicks aren't really going to affect enjoyment of a Roboco chapter all that much. I thought this was perfectly fine and enjoyable. Oath of the Flame, Chapter 25, Urder the Evergreen. Not a bad chapter by any means, actually. This might be my favorite in a while. I don't know, it's just talking. A little bit of fighting at the beginning, but it's just talking. And I like talking. You know, I like Battle Shonen, obviously, but I do quite enjoy a good conversation. But my main takeaway from this was very similar to what it was for Kiyoshi, where, you know, I was just talking about Kiyoshi, how the popularity is kind of confusing. Like, I don't really know how well it's doing exactly. And for Oter, you can amplify that by about 1 million because it makes no sense. The series isn't selling well at all, really. It doesn't really get talked about a whole lot. It does. I see people talk about it, especially over here. I don't really look at Japanese conversation, but probably a similar thing. Like, there's people that really jive with it and people who don't. Always really low on the TOC. Really felt like it was going to get axed, and then it just kept going. Now we're in that phase. It's just, we're getting it. And this one doesn't really feel like it has any out for an ending, in my opinion. I mean, there could still be convoluted ways to end it, but nothing natural at this point. I feel like there's still a lot they're setting up and a lot to do. It's such a weird series. It really is. But I enjoy it. It's nice. The art has improved significantly. The paneling is still all over the place. I thought the action in this chapter in particular at the beginning was like, it was readable. I understood what was happening, but it wasn't easy to read. It's weird to say that because it was like I did understand it, but it wasn't super clear, just very messy looking. It kind of reminds me of like modern Oda in a way. And if there's anything to get inspired from by Oda, it is not his modern paneling. I can tell you that. Yeah, I did like this chapter quite a bit, actually. I thought this was probably the best one in recent memory. So, cool.
Oh, that's a baseball!
Harukaze Mound Chapter 20 versus Ikazuchi Goya. I've been talking a lot about how I really think this series needs to get to its first real game. And I don't want to say I told you so, but like, this is second to last on the TOC right now. That's pretty bad. I don't know. I really just feel like this series has been dragging its feet. And that's such a shame. It could have... Listen, the series is not dead in the water. It might look bad right now for the time being, but it could look good again next week. It could be one of those series that just has a really fluctuating TOC placement. It happens all the time. But with this chapter still not really making progress towards getting to a real game, I just can't help but wonder, like, this series is kind of cooked. Is it cooking itself alive? I don't know. Maybe I'm just ridiculously impatient. But if I am, then maybe everybody else is too, because it is a pretty bad TOC placement. But again, I say this all the time, the TOC is not everything. Even though, to be honest, in recent times, the TOC is kind of everything, because everything that has been at the bottom has been getting axed. Odor of the Flame, kind of a weird exception right now, but that series is in limbo. I don't know I don't understand what's happening with Odor. I want the best for this series. I like it. The characters are good, has really good art. It's endearing. But I just really think it needs to just come out and show its full hand. It's not going to take off until it does that. But it just has this weird resistance to letting itself get there. And I know a lot of sports series have taken their time to get to the first game, but still, like, we're not even hyping it up yet, really. We're just doing classic training stuff and practices and all that. I just really think it needs to get on with it at this point. Ping-Pong Peril, final chapter, those who keep fighting. But here on the first page, which I'll keep up for a second, it's cut off. It just says those, which I thought was a funny little thing to do. Good night, my sweet prince. I will miss this series. The public just didn't get it. They couldn't comprehend peak fiction. I genuinely loved this series. I thought it was such a fun, creative idea. Yeah, it had a dud. I didn't really care for like the weird freak teacher match. It's probably the most boring one. But everything before and after, perfection. I loved it. It was so fun to read every week. It never got old. It really didn't. I'm so incredibly sad that it's over. It deserved better. This was the most unique thing to appear in this magazine in a long time. Truthfully, I mean that. It pains me to know that a series like this can't make it, because it just fills me with a sense of dread. It might be a little too drastic of a word to use, but it doesn't make me feel good about the future of the magazine when we can't keep something as fun and creative as this. Just last week, I posted that YouTube short about this series, about the last chapter, about how it's just so insane and fun. You should check it out before it's gone. There's so many comments about, not a lot of comments, but people who commented were like, this looks awesome, this looks crazy, hell yeah. And if that's the general response to the series' core ideas, then like, man, what went wrong? Why couldn't this stay? It's really frustrating. I really think the series got done dirty, because it feels like something that should have been a shoo-in. I could easily see this lasting a good 100 and some chapters, just sticking around, being a fun little read in the magazine every week. But no, it's gone like the wind. It's over at 17 chapters. So this is a super flop, like axe came down hard as hell. It hurts. This is a painful loss. I will miss this series dearly. It was so fun to read every week, and there will be a ping-pong ball-shaped hole in my heart for the foreseeable future. Alright everybody, that's going to do it for Weekly Shonen Jump 2025 issue number 49. This was a pretty good issue. You know, I thought last issue was fantastic. This issue, a little less than fantastic, but still a good read. Solid series all around. I didn't really have any major complaints with any of them, except, you know, some of the shittier ones, to be blunt about it. But, you know, that's to be expected at this point. But, of course, one series stood out above them all. That goes to this week's Chapter of the Week. Ichi the Witch, Chapter 57, Love and Hate. This was a perfect chapter, seriously. There's nothing wrong with it. I loved how every character was utilized. It was brilliant. And Uroro is proving to be a very cool force in the series, and I'm excited to see what is done with this character going forward. It's just it's a wrench that I didn't expect to be thrown in, honestly. I really didn't see much coming from Uroro in this regard, at least. I thought, like, obviously I didn't think we were done with him by any means, but I didn't see this kind of role coming into play. I love it. It's so, so good. I loved this chapter so much. Fantastic stuff. Next week for issue number 50, we are getting the final new series in this new series wave, and another title that will be translated called, for now, JK Yusha to Inkyo Mao. So something about a hero. I know Yusha is hero. We'll see. I don't know. Expectations aren't super high because this batch's kind of a mixed bag so far. The new series this week was all right. Gonron Egg is I don't know what it is yet. I still got to keep reading it, I guess. So yeah, that's all I got this week. Remember to like, subscribe, and comment with your thoughts on this issue, your favorite chapter, your least favorite chapter, anything you want to tell me about from this issue of Shonen Jump. And remember, you can also become a channel member at 2 tiers. The Nice Prisoner tier will get you early access to new videos and your name put in the credits. And the Super Nice Prisoner tier will get you both of those things, as well as your name read out loud right now. So thank you to my Super Nice Prisoners, DJ Tengen, Hexanen Zujidin, Milu Kitty, Braden Farrell, Half Pipe, Rafker, the Cosmere 64, and Cosmic. Thank you all so much for watching and supporting the channel, and I will see you guys in whatever you decide to watch next. Take it easy, guys.